We are transmitting. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Voxcaster podcast. My name is Max, but you can find me on Instagram under Giant Paints Minis. And we are very excited to introduce, first and foremost, with me, I have Steven. Steve, if you would like to.
Yes, I'm Stephen, also known as Heavy Style Steve on Instagram, and excited to introduce Kim, our newcomer to the podcast and the hobby.
My name is Kim.
You guys a new community hub that we were thinking of starting through the outreach capabilities of having a podcast that we wanted to run. So, this is going to be a little intro to what we are about and the things that we have decided to bring forward to present to you guys, the community. And we wanted to show you guys what we've been working on, little things, little snippets here and there. And we are going to just start with a quick introduction to what's been going on, how we see a vision of what we want to do in the future, as well as current projects that are just being wrapped up. So first and foremost, we're the three of us are going to go over a little schedule that we have thought of. And the reason that we wanted to do this is we noticed that there's been something almost lacking or missing. I think we can all agree on that sense in the podcast space. And when we started to talk about this, one thing that quickly came up was people want more.
Yeah, there's too much space in between episodes dropping.
One, a lot of the time, you've either got a lore drop, you've got hobby drops, but you don't have a mixture of everything. It's very limiting. You get one per sector, let's call it. I think is the big thing there.
Right, and it's interesting you say that it's only one per sector because the thing that we are looking to do here is we are actually looking to have a schedule breakdown of we want to do minimum starting out at 3 episodes per week. Each episode will have a different theme or vibe to it so that it is never the same thing just repeated 3 times a week because that gets boring for anybody. And anybody who paints a horde army, you know how fun repetition is when you get into the 5th or 6th, 100th model. That is exactly the same as the first. It is just so much fun, as we all know.
It almost sounds like you're a speed painter, man.
Yes, I am very happily a speed painter. I do come with personally around 10 years experience, and this is one of the reasons that we wanted to do this style of podcast with the three of us, where Steve and I have very accrued amount of experience in our full hobby ton, I would say, versus Kim, you are somebody who's fresh and new to the hobby scene. You've only started, I believe you said, at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, I think it's just over 7, almost 8 months now. I started right around January, February of this year, actually getting fully into it and learning techniques and about the models and
yeah. So I think with the different viewpoints of being able to have two veterans versus somebody who is relatively new into the hobby space, we can give very creative, different artistic views on similar topics and kind of have our own unique perspective of the same situation maybe and be able to relate to more people across the community because we don't want this to be, hey, you need to be a demon, golden demon level painter, or you need to have an X amount of following. We want everybody and everybody to be included in this. So in our schedule breakdown, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be having a 3 episode a week breakdown where one of the episodes will be the three of us just sharing our hobby stuff from that week, I guess is a good way to put it.
I like it. Hobby stuff. I'll take that. It doesn't mean I have to do progress, so hobby stuff. If I have to show you
work of art.
I'll take it.
But I mean, hey, progress looks different to everybody. Sometimes it's just, hey, I built one model this week. That's still progress. Progress is progress in any sense, right? Um, so first episode, it will be more of like a weekly banter slash hobby stuff. So it's just gonna be talking about our hobby experiences of the week, maybe talking a little bit about the pre-release coming up or the pre-orders that are happening if there is something new coming that week. And the second episode of the week will actually be an episode more dedicated for Kim and a little project that you wanted to start in yourself. So, Kim, if you would like to open up about that.
Yeah, so I've always been a big time reader, um, and that's kind of transitioned over to Warhammer. When Max first told me about doing that, I was like, okay, I need to get involved, at least doing something. So I am going to be creating a community for other like-minded individuals in the hobby who either want to learn about the lore itself for the first time, or just have people to talk with about the books. I'm going to be starting with Horus Rising, going through the actual order of the books and learning about the lore and getting fully immersed in the lore itself. As a newcomer, I feel like it's very um, intimidating and maybe daunting for a lot of people when looking at everything there is and
Yeah.
thinking, okay, like where do I start? Like where, if I want to know about the Night Lords, like is there going to be things brought up from Horus Rising that they talk about that I have no idea what it's about because I've never even read about Horus. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think people should join.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think that's
Yeah.
not inclusive or not exclusive to people who are new to it.
No,
Kim will
for sure.
definitely be there as your focal point for your newer things. Me and Bax are into anything and everything that comes out. So, like me, I will be all over new release books, anything like that. So, in that same topic, if there's something that you want, we're going to be launching our Discord at the same time. So, just fire, and there'll be different channels, various little bits and pieces, the way it's set up. And just hit one of us two, or if it's a newer question and you want to join in on Kim's journey, which you should, then go along with that one.
Yeah,
Regardless, we're
and
more than happy to.
maybe even
Yeah.
people that you don't have to be new to the hobby, or maybe you don't have to not know the lore. Sometimes even somebody who's a veteran who has read all the books, maybe you've missed a few things, and maybe you were looking for a reason to start from the beginning again and retake that journey. And now that you know kind of how the story ends, maybe you'll have a different perspective on certain things, and this is your opportunity to join in with somebody who is relatively new, who is discovering the lore for the first time, to follow along with them and kind of get a newbie's perspective, while maybe that can have a different impact or influence on a veteran's perspective. If you were always set in stone one way and somebody says, hey, did you ever think of it this way? Well, no, I hadn't, because I had known all these other previous facts. But now that you've said that, it just gives a much more open discussion type of.
Absolutely. I would wholeheartedly agree there. Like, knowing what we know, like finishing Siege of Terror, like, you're a lot of books away from that, Kim, so I won't mention it for now. But, like, there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
of days.
like, there's a lot of
Maybe
things
give
that
me
I
a couple
probably
days.
have forgotten that I read in the initial Horus, like Horus Rising, the Esteban Massacre, all that sort of thing. It's
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot that's probably surpassed and gone in the hindsight of the last few books. Gone, oh Christ, that person was 360 books ago. Like,
It's
yeah,
like reading a book for the first
it's a very very real thing that we it's reading fatigue. So yeah, no, it'd be nice to have a refreshing view on it.
Yeah, so that is going to be our second episode of the week. So, just to recap, we have the first episode, which is just weekly banter slash hobby stuff. We have Kim's episode, where she will be the main focal point of that episode, going over the lore and the books that she's going through, following along with her book club that we will be having as a side project as well. And the final episode of the week will actually be us hosting you, the community, on our podcast, this is something that we are very big advocates of, which is getting everybody's voice on here. We do not care what your following count is. I do not care what country you are from, where you are from, your time zone. Trust me, I have an alarm clock and a lot of caffeine and white monsters around that I will be awake for it. So you we are opening up a program that we are very happy to be calling the Voxcasters program. And what this is entailing is on our website that will be coming out on launch day, there will be a separate tab on there for every guest that we will ever feature on our podcast. This is not only an opportunity for anybody to come check out their work, and maybe you heard an episode and you wanted to see some of the artwork that we're talking about on the episode, or maybe touch back with that artist. Maybe you see a paint style that you want to message them about, or a certain technique that you've never tried and you see that they're very good at it. This is your opportunity to find where to message that person, as we will include their Instagram handle, the date the episode was launched, and a link directly to their episode, all included in a separate tab on our website. This is something that we are very happy to be launching, as we believe that everybody in the community should have a voice, that it doesn't matter if you've been here for 10 minutes or 10 years, your voice should be heard as long as you are somebody who is all about spreading the hobby love and growth with the community. That is what our brand is standing behind, and that is why we wanted to create this incredible logo of this, mechanical griffin with this Voxcaster on him, to show that, we're more than happy to accommodate any and everybody. We just want everybody in the same space. And I think the really cool benefit too that we also wanted to add with the guests is we are actually also going to be including a little tangent here, which is going to be a little thing that we're calling Kim's Corner. So when we have these guests on, we obviously some of these guests may have lots and lots of experience. We know people that are all the way up to Golden Demon winners, and we also know people that are still maybe fully trying to learn what exactly a slap chop even is. And everybody's welcome. And we would also like, Kim, as somebody who is new to the hobby, we would like your perspective as well. You know, maybe you've never seen this technique. Maybe this is something that you've always wanted to try. And now, hey, here's an expert. What is somebody who's new to the hobby? What is your first question that you would want to ask them? And Steve and I, as veterans, maybe we've already looked at this, or maybe we've touched upon this, little things like that. So we wanted to introduce something that makes people, as somebody who's a newcomer to the hobby, feel comfortable engaging with people that may have a big following, because sometimes that can be a little intimidating, and we want to break down that barrier for everybody. And we want to show that it doesn't that shouldn't matter. We're all just here to spread the hobby love and build something great for everybody to be able to come and join.
Yeah, I was like, I may be a little selfish in this, in creating Kim's Corner, but the opportunity, exactly what Max said, to ask questions and pick apart the brains of people who, when I look at their art, it takes my breath away. It's something that, I can only dream about getting to that quality of work, but there's so much talent in the community that is showcased well. But I think something that we see here that Max was going into is that it is hard as either a newcomer or even just your average hobbyer to get seen in a sea of so much talent. And I think the Voxcasters is an amazing opportunity to give that opportunity to the creators who either didn't hit the lottery and getting that one post that to get a ton of views, or who just maybe aren't used to like Instagram's algorithms or something. Like, I just we just want the community to have a voice, be heard, and feel as though they truly are. We are
Yeah,
one.
I think that's
community.
a huge thing for us, is bringing everyone together, because we've come from so many different backgrounds. Like as Max has said there, he does speed painting. He does like the slap chop style, like your undercoating to your highlights. Kim has done some beautiful work that you'll see through like AOS. To say she's only been in 8 months is madness. Like as she said, it is that definitely Instagram's lottery, I think, is the best way to say it. Like in the last year, we've really, like, I've considered for myself, yeah, I've really pushed to try and get that post, but it just doesn't happen for everyone. Like it can be the most random thing in the world that you manage to get. But I think what's great here is we've got three very different perspectives on painting.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I am not at the pinnacle of where I would like to be. The people that we have lined up to come on here are at that standard, like where I would absolutely adore being. And yes, I was that little 50 followers DMing them and being like, "Tell me your ways." And yeah, that's literally, we don't want anyone to be fearful of it, because I was at first. I was like, this person's got 18,000 people following them, and I am one person asking for a tip on how I highlight armor cleanly.
And you know what's crazy about this? The craziest part about this is I think I know who you're talking about because I'm pretty sure we play Space Marine 2 with him now on a weekly basis. So this is what I love about this community is it can literally go from I'm worried to message this person to I talk to this person on the daily now. I know about his family, kids, his job. I game with him. Like we're working on projects in the back. Like, and it's funny because we want to break down that barrier that some of these people have because I also think sometimes some of us get very fortunate, and I think Steve, we've kind of hit the lottery here with this, in that we have had access to some of these very very big pages that have had some absolutely stunning and incredible work, and just to be able to talk to some of these people and just say, hey man, like this looks great, how did you even do this? And then they'll send you an entire recipe when you were just asking, hey, did you use Rhinox hide or did you shade this with Agrax Earthshade? And then they'll just send you the whole recipe and you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. But it's so heartwarming to see how much they actually want to help. They actually want to help you.
Yeah, they definitely do. It's the big thing of, like, I understand that some of these big names that we associate with now have Patreon, and it sounds really, really bad. But you are correct. Like, if I message one of them and just say, like, question, red leather, custards, boom,
Yeah.
recipe will just appear. Like, and that's just because they want to encourage me to then push. Like, because I think since meeting me, you know this. Like, even in the last 3 months, um, pushing so much to improve all the time, and sometimes it's very easy to get lost in doing that. If you don't have guidance, like, I could paint a Space Marine every day for the next 6 months, and nothing would actually change. I would be painting the same way all the time, and yes, I would be neater, but it would never actually improve. And thanks to the people like yourself, like your feedback with stuff I've done, people in our chat like that we speak to on the daily. There's like, even the other day, skin tones. We've got such
Yeah.
access to people who've got such a variety and vast knowledge now. It would be nice to give that back to the community. It is the big thing, because that's something we've looked at as well, that we've not really touched on. Is in the somewhat future, a couple of tutorials. If people really want them, if there's something you like on one of our models, or if there's something you like on one of the guests' models, if I can't get them to create it, I will try and recreate it. There is no promise it'll be to the same standard, but I will very much do my best. And, well, all of us will. I think that's something that you can guarantee here, is we'll all do our very best by you guys, to give you what you want, as well as providing content that we enjoy doing.
And I think something that to put into like more of a perspective, something so simple, and I like how you brought up the skin tones comment there, because Kim, when you started in this hobby, you first started with Soulblight Grave Lords, and you were painting up a lot of armor, and then when you switched to doing your Gloomspite Gits, and you started painting your gits, and it went from being armor to organic matter. I remember you even said, like, this is such a different way to paint, even using the same paints. We didn't change the paints, but all I did was show her organic matter versus non-organic matter. And something as simple as a shift like that, I think was kind of an eye-opening experience to you, if I'm not mistaken here. Like I'd want you to open up about this, but from what I saw to you, it was almost like oh my goodness, I think I get what he was trying to say.
No, 100%. Like, you don't really think about uh, the different techniques or the different, I guess, consistencies of paint that different models require. Like just like the really little things to do with painting, other than just, oh, I'm going to stick my brush in a pot and then slap it on the model and then we're good to go, which is
You
how
guys don't do that?
I started painting.
Not all of us get to be speed painters, Matt. Not all of us.
Oh, I mean the literal definition of slap chop, just like going to town. But
More slap than chop there.
yeah, I should show my Christmas.
There's a
I
reason
don't
we've got a letter of an
want to see that, but no, it was very very eye opening. Like, I remember telling Max, it felt like the contrast paint with the gloom spite, it even just dried differently on the model, and it even just like flowed differently on the model. And I'm not sure if it was like the technique I was using or yeah, just the model itself, but no, the little
I think that's
things
a huge
make
thing.
a big difference.
Even though they are all the same material, like on Warhammer models now, well, I say all, they're not, as we know, there's Forge and so on and so forth. But, like, even my most recent, I did Iron Jaws, didn't I? I did a single Iron Jaw, and
Yep.
normally my feed is all 40k and Necromunda Madness. But it's such an experience to go from painting power armor, which is literally just colour, 3-stage highlight, to then painting orc flesh. So I literally had done a standard recipe. I then looked at AK's paint kit. Then I looked at Tooth and Coat's paint kit. Went back to AK. Ended up going and getting 6 paints individually.
Yeah.
To only use 3 of them. Because I was like, right,
Well,
I think the best thing to do is just what looks right.
and
It
the
doesn't look right.
the thing I wanted to just quickly add to this is, as somebody like as somebody starting out, um and if you're somebody that may not just have the experience or the knowledge that how paints work, and this is just literally a brush time thing. Like, the more you brush, the more you understand how brushes work, how the hairs work, the different material, all this stuff. But I'm saying, like, if you're a very, very, you know, newbie, let's put it that way, and you're still learning between organic versus non-organic painting styles, you could almost just be completely discouraged because you have this great idea, you have the paints, you've been killing it on one project, and then you grab another project and you're expecting it to go a certain way or to a certain, you know what I'm saying? Like, you almost have this expectation of this is how it's going to go. The paint should flow like this. It should end up like this, and then it doesn't. And if you're starting out, and this is maybe your second project, you may look at that and be very discouraged, actually, to
Yeah.
want to maybe continue it. So, and when we jump into Kim's episode, this is something that the next couple episodes we're going to have are just going to be full intros into each one of us. So there's going to be an intro episode dedicated to myself, Steve, and Kim as well. And in Kim's episode, this will be something that we do dive into her episode. Is, has there been times that, maybe as a newbie you got a little discouraged because you thought, of it in a certain light and how it was described to you? Because sometimes, also, like, anybody can say, oh yeah, go paint leather. Okay, now actually paint leather. You, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I would
I think.
absolutely agree. I find it so difficult because, like I've told you guys, like, I have never touched speed paints or contrast in my life. Well,
Yeah.
nah, that's a lie. One time I use it for yellow, don't I? Like that's as I said, just to give it the vibrancy pop. And I think they're a great gateway, and they're also great for speed painting. But I think that sometimes people don't get the results they want because the style that's so associated with our hobby and all the box arts, you don't really. Well, don't get me wrong. I won't say you don't achieve because some people do. Like online people have achieved it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's so difficult, as you say, like as a gateway. Like if someone gave me a tub of like auric flesh and was like, "That's how you paint orc skin," and I just stuck it on, and then I get really frustrated with myself. Like, why does that not look like
Yeah.
this? And then I compare the timescales. Like, if you look at how long it would take you to slap chop an iron jaw, this may be something we'll look at. Is getting an iron jaw, and I paint it to this standard, like every style, like I try and do, and speed paint, and look at the differences and how to reach that middle point is what we've looked at as well.
Yeah.
Between if you want like a tabletop standard, if you just want a contrast, you know, you want your 5 colours, you want to get it on the table, and you want to slap it around, or if you want to do even higher standards. You know what I mean? It's very much what we're trying to cover and encourage everyone is it doesn't matter if you want 5 colours and you don't want to do all sorts of fanciness to it, but if you want to sit and you want to spend 36 hours on a non-metallic metal project, feel free. I won't be there with you. I'll be with you in spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll encourage you from a
Yeah.
distance.
You can edge highlight as much as you want. Just don't push your don't push that on me, you know?
Yeah, like, if you want to do 4, yeah,
Don't edge highlight.
it's something that is I think very unique in our hobby to everyone.
Yeah, and I think as you guys can tell, we're all three of us are very passionate about Warhammer as a whole, but we don't want to just leave the door to one gaming system. So very quickly, all of us have different knowledge across multiple of the game systems. So we don't want people to think that this is just a 40K, just an AOS, just a Horus Heresy, just a Necromunda, just none of that. We are very open to not only those gaming systems but anything else. You know, if somebody wants to jump on here and say, hey, you know, Infinity is the greatest game that's ever existed under the sun, mate, send me a copy of the rules. Tell me what's a, you know, I'll tell you what I like. Tell me what's a cool little thing. I'll get into it. I'll start Infinity next week. My point is we want to encourage everybody from all walks of the hobby, that
Yeah.
we want people to, you know, yes, we are branding this on the more Warhammer sense because that's where our specialties are. You know, Steve, you have a lot of knowledge more into Necromunda, and Kim, you have a lot more knowledge into Age of Sigmar, whereas I feel, you know, I have a lot more into the Horus Heresy side of things. And I think there's great strengths in that because there's going to be things that you know about certain stories I have no idea about, and you're almost anticipating or waiting for me to get to that. You know, like it's like if you could watch a miner and you knew he's going to find a diamond today, and you're waiting for the moment that he like hits that last shovel before he finds it, you know, and you're like, oh, you're just so excited to see how he reacts to it. So we want to encourage everybody from all walks of the hobby. If you are interested into coming on to our podcast, we are going to have a bunch of links on social media. But if you would like a direct, very easy
Yeah.
path,
Yeah.
on our website, there will be a section that Kim has brilliantly thought of called our Allied Detachment section. Under the Allied Detachment sections, there are two separate spots. There's one spot that if you would like to be a guest to come on to one of our weekly episodes, you just fill out the form there. It is a pre-form. You just fill it out with basic info, a few comments, and Kim, who is going to be managing all of our behind the scenes and little things like that, Kim will reach out to you. She will arrange a time. She will arrange a date for you that works for all of us, and we will have you on as soon as possible. On top of that, anybody who will be coming on as a guest, again, you will be featured on our website under the Voxcaster tab that we will have exclusive to people who are guests. Now, on the second segment under Allied Detachments, is not everybody's comfortable being on a podcast. Not everybody's comfortable coming forward and talking, and we understand that some people are shy. And as all three of us who also have our own walks of life through mental health, we understand that some mental health is not in a situation where coming forward on a camera and talking to tons of people is a very uncomfortable situation. So, if you would like, under our Allied Detachments part, you are more than welcome to write us in any stories, any cool models you're working on. Show us your work in projects. And if you want to stay anonymous, we can show you on our page. And during our podcasts, our weekly banter, we will have a segment of just this is what people in the community are working on. This is what cool story we have. Maybe you rolled all sixes and you destroyed something turn one that was impossible. Maybe you're like Kim and you rolled 5 1s when you needed 5 2s, and your best model on the table got disintegrated turn one, and I laughed for the rest of the game at you. Maybe that's what happened to you. You need to write that in so we know right away.
I don't know if other people in the community have ever felt this way, that their dice have a personal grudge or vendetta against them for some reason. I don't know what I've done to them. I I personally pick them from the store myself, but at any opportunity that my dice can roll anything below a 2, they're gonna give it to me.
I'm almost certain we had a spearhead game one time when you needed a 3 plus, and it was literally if you rolled a 3 plus, you would win the game. But if you rolled a 1 or a 2, I would lose. Or sorry, no, I would win. And then you rolled a no, no, you rolled a 2, but then you had a
I rolled
re-roll,
six
and then the
dice.
2 rolled into a 1, and you were like, "Oh yeah, great."
Yeah, I was like, I just give up. Or it could be on the flip side if you're max and it says you have to roll 2 6s, and he looks at his dice and just
Every time,
rolls them
every
and gets
time.
2 6s. Some people just feel like they're blessed in the hobby, and some people like myself, it feels like
Listen, this is what I say.
the
I
dice
say,
have something to prove. They're
I
trying
say,
to
you
prove.
either got blessed in life or you got blessed in Warhammer, one of the two.
I think just touching back on what you said,
I'll
Max, about the
take
mental
it.
health aspect. Don't get me wrong, none of us are professionals here. But
No,
what we are trying to get against in that stigma is that despite I don't care if me, Max, and Kim get to like stupid number of followers, our messages are always open. Like as a
yep,
member of the Voxcast, I don't care if you have one follower and you feel like rubbish that day and you don't want to pay anymore, you want to give it all up. Just message. Don't get me wrong, I'm not promising that I'll reply instantaneously because I am ignorant. But I definitely will.
Steve only
And I'm
replies
always
to
on
me
it.
instantly.
Yeah, like I will look at Max's message for a good 20 minutes and then think about
It's
replying
true. It's
after.
true. Like in his list of priorities of who to reply to, it goes like me, then his wife, then his mom, and then a bunch of randomness, and then
The
me
monthly
again
baby.
randomly, and then I'm there twice actually.
It's just you, and then Kim's not actually got a place. It's just Max too.
Yeah.
But no, on a genuine comment, all of us are always open. Like, if anyone needs anything, then that door is always open to everyone. And I know you guys will back that as well. So yes, and just on the topic of if anyone is, these guys aren't going because they are across the pond. If anyone is coming along on the 4th of October, um,
We're
flag me down.
boring.
You'll see my name on my t-shirt for the Mind charity event. There's me and a couple of the people that we've mentioned. Well, in passing, we've not given the names yet because they are going to come on the podcast, but you'll see me associating with them. And just come along and say hello. So, yeah, always approachable and friendly is what I've been told.
Or don't, whatever you're comfortable with. That's what we're
Agree.
here for.
Yeah, exactly that. If you want to just stick your fingers up at me across the room, that's fine too.
Yeah.
but
Absolutely fine.
but yes, no. On a more serious note, yes, we do have two parts on our allied detachment. So one is if you would like to be an actual guest to be featured on an episode, please write us in. We are not saying no to anybody. We are more than happy to have everybody on the show, and we would love to hear from you. We would love to share your work. We want you to be featured on our website because I'm proud of the people that we already have lined up, and I think all three of us have been messaging people that we feel represent what we are trying to build, and all of us have been some of you are going to be listening to this and going, yeah, I got a creepy message at 2 a.m. from Max talking about some weird thing he's working on in his room at 3 a.m. But honestly, it's all love. It's all just, we're just trying to bring more outreach to some of these people. And um, if you're not comfortable jumping on an episode, again, just write us in. We can keep it completely anonymous. This is the other thing that we want to make very clear, that you as the guest, you control how anonymous, how non-anonymous it is. We respect privacy more than anything. We completely understand through jobs, through mental health, everybody has their own reasoning for it, and we are not the place to judge or question that. And we just want everybody comfortable at the end of the day. So please, if sorry to cut you off, sorry. So yeah, please, if you have something to just write in and something to share, you want to give us maybe a suggestion, maybe some cool talking point that you would like, maybe we had a guest on and you wanted, hey, this person was great, see if you can have them on again. Great, let us know. Maybe don't send the opposite email.
Yeah. And just on Max's thing about messaging people, if I have already messaged you, because I am like the loud mouth here, I am sorry. Just on that topic, because I literally made a list of people that I would love to interview so far that I associate within the hobby. And I did have to say to these guys yesterday, like, I am going to have to start adding people to group chats because it just looks like I'm messaging everyone. Like, come speak to me. But yes. Like, I want friends. But no, but it's definitely something that, yes, as much as I may approach, if you don't want to just say it, it's absolutely fine. I promise my ego can take it. But equally, yes, we will all be reaching out, and if not, as Max has said, just write in, speak to us. More than happy. If it's a Whip Wednesday and you send it another Wednesday, we'll probably cover it the next week. But equally, if you don't want to put it on the website and you know us, or you've spoke to us, or you replied to a story, just drop it. We'll always pick it up. It's something that we will always be on one of our socials, or it will be the alternative that I'm going to start the Discord channel for Whip Wednesdays. And I have thought about, and it's something to let us know if you'd want to see, community showcase, where we don't just look at your questions and your little things that happen weekly, because as these guys will introduce in this episode, I have not played a game of Warhammer. You can mention dice to me all you want, unless I'm painting them, I've not seen them. So I think very much I would love to, if you guys would be interested, host something where I look at people's work. I know I'm not going to sit here like other people's podcasts sometimes and review it. I will tell you it looks fantastic, because it probably will. Like, that's the thing. And I know as a painter myself, I look at my own work and go, that looks crap. But to everyone else, it'll probably look alright. Like, it's very much a thing where sometimes you just need those comments from the community, and that's something that we would like to be as well. Exactly that. We're almost
well, and the other thing too, that I think a lot of people fall trapped to is, one, comparison is a thief of joy, but two, very very easily you forget you will see the broken glass because you built it. Others just see the glass for the whole stained picture.
Agreed. Like, we see the ugly stage.
I hope that makes sense to everybody listening.
No,
What I was trying to say there is, you will notice the small crack, whereas people are just focused on the bigger picture. So to you, it may seem like this doesn't look good, or this, oh my gosh, this is going to stand out.
Yeah.
Trust me, to others, it is probably not even noticeable.
Yeah, like a tiny detail on someone's face that you will notice when you've done it on 10 times zoom on a portrait mode, taking a photo. When you're doing it overall on Instagram, I'm not going to see that, and no one else is. And I know it is a very much, as you've said, is like, comparison is a thief of joy. And I think the other thing with Instagram is it's such a difficult platform. We see so many people, as you've all said today, with like A-grade work. You look at it and you go like, why do they not work for Warhammer? Or why do they not work for Atomic Mass Games doing Shatterpoint? Why do they not work like... And they do this, and then you look at it and you look at your own, you compare it, and then you end up in a spiral of self-hatred. So yeah, we don't want that. Like, we don't want that for anyone. So it's something we want to add to the community, to pull away from that.
So yeah, well, we just wanted to, come on here and give you guys a quick little introduction. was going to be much shorter than this, but as you can tell, we're very passionate. We love rambling on. So episodes are, if you're going to be asking what a time length is, it will say question mark. Um, because realistically, we like to go off on tangents, and all three of us are very passionate about very specific things. I'm sure whenever we get to a Gloomspite episode, it'll just be like 4 hours of Kim going about the assortment of rainbow squigs that she has and why they are so much better than everything else in existence. But
Right, moving past. Before she gets distracted.
yeah,
Before she gets distracted.
before we open up that rabbit hole, so uh, yeah, so just a very quick summary. We just wanted to welcome everyone again to our community hub we're trying to build. We will have links available to our website as well as all our social medias, is where you can reach us. Please message any and all of us, not maybe not all of us differently if we're trying to plan things. If anything, please check out our website, which we will have all the information about there. We will have a complete about section, which will break down all three of us, and our private episodes that are coming up will go into much more detail into that. We will also be including a release schedule soon of upcoming guests. We're just finalizing dates here. All of us are from different walks of life. We're all adults. We understand that scheduling can sometimes be an absolute nightmare. So when we have dates locked in, we will be confirming those online so everybody can see those. We will also be having the Discord channel launching simultaneously with all of these episodes not only being available on Spotify for audio only, but also available on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. So you can actually see how we react to it as well, because we understand that as hobbyists, we spend a lot of time at our desks. And if you're like myself, what do? I throw on a podcast in the background, I throw on some music, and I get to work. So we wanted to release a podcast where people can have multiple different episodes a week coming out. So it doesn't matter if you are doing your hobby on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and there's the only 3 days you have available, you will have access to multiple new episodes all 3 of those days. We will have a set schedule locked in stone coming soon, as well as everything I've mentioned. If I have missed anything that you guys can think of off the top of your head.
No, I think you've covered pretty much everything there regarding schedules, availability, everything like that. But as Max said, just to reiterate, if there's anything you do want to know in the meantime, message the main page. But equally, all three of us are around. So if you don't get a reply off that, it's either if you're in the UK like me, bother me, because they may be asleep or they are busy at work. So if it's like anything like that, just try and what's the word I'm looking for? Navigate the correct way. There we go. Yeah, just try and navigate it the correct way.
Yeah, I work nights, so if
Probably
you're
gonna reply.
messaging in the middle of the night, probably more likely to get a reply from me in the night than anyone else. But no, same thing as Max and Steve were saying. Like, please reach out. We really do want this to be a community, and we want people to feel comfortable.
It would be of interest to everyone in the community, and I want some feedback on this. We would start a Voxcast colour scheme. And would potentially do sort of a monthly competition of painting, and of course that's something that we would then look at the correct way for the people who compete and prizes and so on and so forth.
Yep.
Definitely something we consider, but also want your guys' input, because there's lots of colour schemes out there already, and probably far more than any of us actually realise are associated with different brands, different charities, different this, different that. So feedback would be great. And also feedback on our designs that we've done so far.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Any and all feedback, please. We're all super open to it. We're not over here claiming to be experts at digital marketing or design or nothing. We're just three people in the hobby that are super passionate, and that's literally why we started this and why we are so open to everything, because we're so passionate. We want everybody to be as passionate as us, and we understand what it's like to be a part of something and to be able to message people and say, "Hey, man, what do you think of this?" And somebody gives you an honest answer instead of what you want to hear. And sometimes the answer you may not want to hear ends up leading to the model looking exactly how you want it, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But that's for a later episode. Um, with that, I think all three of us just want to say thank you guys very much for all the rambling that you have sat through in our first episode here. We did intend to make this short, but as you can tell, one thing leads to another. With that, I think thank you from all three of us here. Thank you for tuning into this transmission. And with that, we shall end it there.